Welcome back to All Stars TV as we count down to the 2026 edition at the Bauer Arena at Sheffield at end of July, 25th and 26th. Games all day Saturday and Sunday with some social stuff thrown in just for the hell of it as well. It's the Captain's Call series, but it's a committee call tonight. We've got our very own Mel B, Mel Hemmings-Bosworth from the committee, former All Stars captain with Help for Heroes. Mel, thanks for jumping on All Stars TV tonight.
No, thanks for having me, Craig.
And as I said at the top there, it's a slightly different role this year for yourself. Obviously, your final year with Heroes as captain last year. And if you kind of move sideways and upwards, or sideways and downwards in the committee, I don't know exactly how it works, but joining the committee and working with the captains this year and kind of involved in the day-to-day running of how All Stars is made.
Yeah, we'll call it a transitional move. So it's certainly been an eye opener. Like you say, I've been playing now since 2018. The 2018 Sheffield All Stars was actually my first year. Following that, I had a couple of years as an A, and then 3 years as captain for Help for Heroes. And when they approached me last year and asked if I would be willing to join the committee and act as that captain player liaison, I was extremely honoured, bit scared, because obviously you're not exactly 100% sure kind of like what goes on behind the scenes, and all of a sudden like your eyes are opened and it's like, does it destroy the magic? But I'll be honest, it's been incredible. It's been a real eye opener for me to be able to see the running of things behind the scenes, the hard work that really does go into it, and what the more senior and seasoned committee members do every single year. I know for a lot of the players, obviously they kind of have their down period after All Stars finishes, all the photos start to come out, everyone gets excited, and then it's like calms down a bit, and then on the build up to announcements and Christmas and teams, it starts to pick up for the players again. But from what I've seen now, obviously for the committee, it is a year-long passion project, and they pour their hearts and souls into it every day. So when I was asked to join, I jumped at the opportunity. Yeah.
And we talked a few of the captains, and obviously the captains have their own kind of WhatsApp group to kind of chat and a shoulder to lean on, any advice, any questions. And there's some previous captains in there as well, because as we always say, once you're in All Stars, you're never getting out. So captains are always there to help. And so now you've got this role, kind of official kind of captain support role. How has it been working with the 2026 class of captain?
Quite drama free. It's been
disappointing.
I know. I was expecting to have to really get in there and knock some heads together, but I'll be honest, they've been a fantastic group. I think that's one thing that I noticed when I first joined my first year as captain. The committee had started to comment on how the captains themselves as a group were starting to develop and mature into the roles, and they were given a lot more responsibility. And I think as those 3 years that I was in as captain with other seasoned captains, our A's and the people that we were nominating and promoting from within, from A's to captain roles, have seen that level of, I guess, dedication and work that we were putting in and how we were working with the committee, and they've taken that and they've then made the role their own and developed it further. And yeah, they've really taken from the example that all previous captains had led, and just taken it that one step further again. It's just when you think that captains groups can't get better every year, there is always that surprising element, and they just pull out of the bag.
Yeah, no, and the captains work really hard. They say the committee's hard. The captains work really hard, cajoling their 20-odd strong group, plus volunteers, plus fundraiser. So the captains are kind of managing a fairly big team, and they pull everything together to get things done. And they say we're chasing from the committee side to get them to get things, so they chase the team, and it gets a bit mad sometimes. But come this time of year, it all kinds of pulls together, and we end up with a big event at the end of July.
Yeah, and that's it. Like you say, each captain's got 22 players, 21 to include themselves, that they have to wrangle. It's most of us that do have kids, or that have senior roles at work where we're managing people, don't even have to think about 22 people. And all of a sudden, outside in your private time, in your personal time, you're doing all of this additional management as well. It is a lot of work, and it's certainly a dedication. But it just goes to show how much these individuals really care, not only about the sport, but about the charities and the people that they're supporting through these charities.
Yeah, no, it's been great. As I say, the captains, I see bits and pieces of the captains chat, and obviously it's great to see them working together. This year, for the first time, we had a separate little mini event in Cardiff. Obviously, we moved between the two venues, so we don't leave T Haven alone for a year. We had our little mini Cymru All Stars. That was a fantastic success, little 4-team event. It was kind of the only way we could, because All Stars as an event, as the one weekend event, had kind of reached full capacity, hadn't it? We couldn't really find any more players, any more lines, any more teams, any more, short of playing 24/7, which I should never say anything in jest, because it'll happen. But
We do it.
yeah, but the Cymru All Stars has raised over £50,000 over a little 6-hour 4-team event, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The Sheffield event, I think last time 142. So we're heading towards, whisper it quietly, 200,000 for a single calendar year.
And it's insane.
It's just phenomenal. We've talked to a few of the captains how hard the fundraising has been this year, because money is tight for people. There's a lot of things that are kind of putting on people's purses and wallets, but yet they still find the way to donate and raise money. And nearly 200,000 for a calendar year is phenomenal for All Stars.
No, I completely agree. And like you say, having that first year of being able to hold I say mini All Stars, it's it in itself, over that one day tournament, raised more than some of the original All Stars way back when it first started in 2008. And
Yeah.
it like you say, it is credit. There's only so far you can expand a weekend, and as much as we would love All Stars to be anybody who wants to come in and open it up to more people, realistically, you do have to realize that there is a capacity. It is a very highly sought after role position to play in. So being in a position now where, as All Stars has grown to the size that it has, to be able to hold these biannual intercity ones, is, I think it's just, again, it's credit to not just the committee, but the players and the dedication that they show year in, year out, wanting to return and wanting to give more and do more, and also the venues for being able to facilitate the space for us as well. I mean, obviously this year with Cardiff being the first one, and it's a fantastic venue, and then hopefully when we then do the switch and return to a venue for future events, then being able to hold future mini tournaments will just be fantastic.
Yeah, and there are some silly sausages have done both events this year. The Cardiff and they're doing Sheffield.
They have one in particular, Emma, who is actually playing for Heroes. So she's a local Cardiff girl, really, really strongly supporting the local TAF and charity year in, year out, and every chance that she can. Obviously, she's been playing with us on Heroes now for the past couple of years. So when she had the opportunity to basically do 2 in 1 year, she jumped at it, and she'll be fundraising for both charities this year.
As we talk about the fundraising, is any stories you've heard from people, either from the captains or from the team that you're kind of following? Any major events that you've kind of made you go wow to what people have done?
Yeah, there's honestly, like I say, every year we always say people go above and beyond. I know, like my previous 3 years, like I would always set myself a challenge every year for the guys to hit a total, and then I would do something crazy, but it's nothing in comparison to some of the things I've seen this year. Like we have like Lee Dodge is doing all his charity games that he's been holding, getting a lot more people down on the ice that maybe have never played before, and really exposing not just the sport but the charity to these people through the sport, which is great. We've got Righty, who is an absolute maniac in my opinion, completely dedicated, heart of gold, and he doesn't even shout about it. He's so humble in his fundraising, which I think is another fantastic quality for him as a captain. But he just goes out, quietly does these little events, and the next thing you know, you have this story pop up on your social medias, and he's running a 10K in the middle of summer in full ice hockey kit, or he's doing some other crazy high rocks competition in full ice hockey kit again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's no massive blaggingness about it. It's not about him and what he's doing. It's all about the end result, the charity, and then who that benefits. And I think for me, that's been the standout captain this year is everything that he's been doing with his crazy kit challenges, shall we call them?
Yeah. No, 100%. So we're talking to him shortly to get his kind of angle. But you say he'll always put it on. Obviously, he raises for, I think it's Two Wishes, his Barbarians charity. But the Barbars, again, is another one that's able to raise, which is such a genius idea. It's able to raise more charities, not just limited to the 8, because then you've got your mental health charities are multiple, and now you've got Barbarians, which is multiple. So just finding ways to help more and more charities, and with more and more, yes, the money's important, but it's also the awareness and the publicity and the advocacy that we can do for these charities.
Yeah, completely. And like you say, we had the charity village at the arena every year as well. And with teams like Team Mental Health and Barbs, where Barbarians, where for the most part, almost every player will be fundraising for a different charity. It just opens up that charity village for those charities to be able to have that presence and put them in a position where they then have another event in their calendar where they can fundraise themselves as well.
Yeah. We've talked. One of the new things we've been talking to the captains this year has been their shirt designs. They're on sale now through Crosscheck Clothing. If people want to go and have a look at Crosscheck on the website, the shop is open. If you order it now, I think you can still get it in time for All Stars itself. Obviously, you've been through the process with Pete getting your Heroes jerseys. Have you had a chance to look at this year's 8 designs and see how things are looking?
I have, and I've been putting some pennies aside because there are a couple on that list that aren't Heroes jerseys that I might be purchasing.
Is one of them Barbarians?
Do you know what? Funnily, it was in the running. No, I've certainly got my eye on the breast cancer one. I think the comic look that they've gone through this year, and that throwback to retro comics it speaks to me. I'm here for that. I'm a big fan. And as much they all are, but what an important cause. And the more attention that we draw to female health, for me, the better. And from a biased point of view, for my household, obviously, of the 3 of us in the household that do play at All Stars, 2 of us, yes, we're Team for Heroes, but we do have a Team Prostate in the house, and I think their jersey is just fantastic this year. It really, that really caught my eye. I do like a bit of Sully.
And we've been talking to Ross and Evan from Prostate Cancer just before this call, and you'll not be surprised to know it was the 2 big kids, Ross and Evan, who came up with the idea of the Monsters Inc. No, they all look fantastic. But I said the Monsters Inc. one certainly catches your eye with the fur look.
It does.
Heroes, talking to Jess about her kind of digital camo, which looks really smart. I think that the Barb's one is just so classic. So
very nice, that classic retro clean cut look to it. It's a great jersey. Great jersey.
Mental health hockey as well. The white just looks so clean. I mean, I could talk myself into buying one of each, and I can't afford it. So I better stop now.
I won't talk you out of it.
Definitely have a look at crosscheckclothing.co.uk. The shop is open. There's an All Stars shop. One of each of the shirts. There's a couple of T-shirts and pendants, and just fill your boots. It all goes to a good cause. But the captains and Pete have done a sterling job. Final thing before we, as we record, it's 2 weeks before we reconvene in the Bauer Arena. It's come around crazy quick. If people are looking for a summer hockey fix, what would you say to them to try and encourage them to come down and spend even a couple of hours with us, or a day, or the whole weekend with us in the Bauer Arena, even if it's just to get out of the sun and get a bit of cool? But yeah,
I don't even think it's down to trying to convince hockey fans, because hockey fans will just be there. You know, any time of year you put some hockey on, people will be there. I think it's getting people to encourage to bring outsiders in. So people that maybe have never been down to a game before, grab a buddy, grab a friend, grab a colleague from work, and tell them about All Stars. You know, these charities are national household names. Everybody knows who these charities are. You've heard from them. Your workplaces probably help donate to them every single year. You know, spread the word, just get people down there. It's such a fun weekend, and I know we all talk about it like, oh, you know, you don't know what it's like until you go. It's true. There's just not enough words to explain how much of a fun, infectious weekend it is. It's just
yeah,
like you say, and it's true that there's no rivalry. You know, no one cares if it's a, you know, you could be sat with a Steelers fan sat next to a Panthers fan. No one's going to care. You know, at the end of the day, everyone's there for hockey. Even the players, we all come from different parts of the country. We've all got our own, you know, blood colours that we wear at home. But when we get to All Stars, it doesn't matter. Everyone's just there to have a really good time and just celebrate the sport supporting good causes.
yeah. No, 100% amen to that. And it's, I say, Friday the 24th is our launch party at the Bauer Arena, and then the game starts at 11 o'clock on Saturday the 25th and
Yep.
Sunday the 26th. Games all day. The finals are Sunday afternoon. When it starts getting a little tad more serious, when there was a trophy up for grabs. But yeah, no, a fantastic weekend, and look forward to seeing you in person, Mel. Thanks for your time tonight, talking all things All Stars. We'll see you
Thank
in a couple
you.
of weeks, and we'll
See you
have a great
soon.
time in Sheffield.
Can't wait. See you soon.